We welcome Sally Carstens back with us today. We're going to talk about the omega essential fatty acids and its role that it plays in learning in children. Welcome back, Sally.
Thanks, it's lovely to be here, Daleen.
I'm so glad to have you back. I mean, we've had such phenomenal response from our first interview, and we focused on ADHD. And since then, I mean, there's been new studies out on omegas and the role in children and learning.
Absolutely. So the new research that was in fact released 2 months ago was actually done in mainstream school children. So that's quite exciting because these aren't children that have learning problems or challenges. And we've always thought, well, obviously we need to look after the needs of the child who does have learning difficulties first. So this trial was valuable to see if we could actually enhance performance, because as we know, there are a lot of students today that pretend to have ADHD symptoms so they can get that prescription that allows them to maybe perform at the optimum level.
Sure.
And there's a lot of complaints about this, both at a school level and at a tertiary level.
Not even talking about the abuse of certain products.
Well, we're not going to go. We're not going to go there. But
we have to just mention it in the room, I think.
But I do think that obviously in the right child, the right medication works beautifully. But I think one needs to be very, very cautious when you're considering a mainstream school child, no challenges, and you're going a route which is really considered. Like on the bad drugs list if you're a sportsman. Mm-hmm. So the recent research tells us that that was published in Sweden and done by Professor Mats Johnson, who has done quite a few of the trials with IQ. He looked at specifically reading performance, and this is the fundamental foundation for literacy in children. The trial was done with a placebo arm to rule out that placebo effect, which can be alluded to when you do see results. And it is a very real thing, so we needed to rule out the placebo effect. And what they saw in the group of children that were receiving the IQ is that these children actually had a far better phonologic development of their reading skills. Their recall on what they read,
That's
on
so
comprehension was really, really great. Their grasp of language was improved.
It's phenomenal that you've been able to have all this research available. Very few brands can claim that. How on earth do you afford to have all this research done? Because it's not cheap.
Yes. So I think that's a very valuable question. And I think to be able to sit here and to have a brand that has 16 published trials specifically done using this formulation gives me a huge sense of pride, first of all, and also makes the information so credible, because we do go to healthcare professionals and we do speak to them about the research on our trials. And in the very beginning, obviously the trials were less, and so the information was thin, but it's been an evolution of research, which is critical to really show that measurably you can make a difference to these children, so that the platform that you provide for their best outcome is inclusive. So it's not about creating exclusivity, it's about creating inclusivity. Okay. And as we've gone along in the various trials, the very first one was the Oxford-Durham trial, which was conducted in the United Kingdom, where they looked at developmental coordination disorder, including a group of children with ADHD. That was the very first pilot study.
Is that the one with the drawings where you could see the before and after? Absolutely. Beautiful images? You see these little, compromised art, and then you see after Omega how colourful and full these drawings were. It was beautiful to see.
That was a dyslexic child who really was asked to copy something out of a text out of a book, and it was like a spider crawled across the page. And literally within 6 weeks of IQ, and he was in a special needs school. After 6 weeks of IQ, that child was writing absolutely perfectly. You could actually distinguish the letters from one another. He still wasn't within the lines, but the progress that he'd made was almost unbelievable.
But what is it about IQ? Because the tests were done on the actual product.
Yes. So that's always an interesting question, because I think when one goes into any health store, pharmacy, etc., you are faced with many marketing messages in store that draw you in and make you believe that this is a possible solution for your child. And if you look at the research, and that is one thing that SFI globally are committed to.
They're the brand owner.
The brand owner for the Equizen portfolio is they are committed to providing responsible, clinically researched brands, and the marketing follows the research. So it is really about providing the best possible platform for the best possible health outcome.
Right.
And we can, as I said to you earlier on, we can claim to date 16 trials with IQ. And the difference in IQ is that most of the omegas that are being suggested for children, definitely on the South African market, are predominantly omega-3s. And IQ is a unique blend of 3 and 6.